hospital did own you. You had no time for extracurriculars, family, pets, nothing.
The Labrador Health Center in Happy Valley-Goose Bay is losing paramedics. Cody Lucenti saw many colleagues come and go during his more than 5 years working in the community.
Most people, they would show up, love the money, and then quit 6 months later when they're burnt out. And we were a revolving door. So except for the 3 or 4 of us that stayed, everyone else was in and out monthly.
And Lucente has now joined the ranks of those who've left the service in Central Labrador, saying he couldn't handle the workload anymore and had concerns about the impact it was having.
And your quality of work does go down. As much as we don't want to admit it, we do try our best. Sometimes when you're that tired, you just can't.
Documents obtained by CBC News through Access to Information show why. Paramedics have been working around the clock. In the past fiscal year, 6 of them at the Labrador Health Center clocked in over 1,000 hours of overtime. One paramedic in particular was averaging approximately 33 hours of overtime per week. Between regular, overtime, and standby, another was punching in more than 100 hours every week.
So I'm no longer working as a full-time paramedic, actually. I'm casual on the reserve list, so I'm actually even below casual because I can't commit to the scheduling with children at all.
Brittany Elliott moved to Happy Valley-Goose Bay over a decade ago to work as a paramedic. Since becoming a mother, she has not been able to work on the job full-time, and she says she's not alone.
There's a nice few of us that had children that are no longer full-time employees as paramedics.
According to Elliott, paramedics are often expected to take on additional work immediately after completing a 12-hour shift, which meant that workers would often be working 24-hour stretches at a time, hours which are pretty much impossible with those with family commitments.
So to not have that work-life balance, I need to be able to go home and be the best person that I can for my family and my kids. And like I said, I just didn't feel like I could do both.
The union representing the paramedics says the situation is not sustainable, and it's having an impact on the quality of service provided to patients.
Data that I have seen is that the response times, for example, in Goose Bay and Sheshashi are not acceptable to national standards. So that tells us there's insufficient units as it exists now. So you can imagine now if you're losing paramedics or you're relying on overtime, that impacts response times. And that's the key thing.
Currently, there are 8 vacancies for paramedics at the Labrador Health Center.
If you're burning these paramedics out in 12, 18 months, there's nobody going to want to do that work. And most paramedics will tell you it is good work, it's rewarding work, and they love what they do, but they can't work the way they're expected to work in Goose Bay.
Do you think you'll ever be a paramedic in Labrador again?
When I left, I took the ferry out of Labrador. I remember hitting the island and just saying to myself, I never have to go back. I never have to go back. Thank God. Almost in tears. The people were lovely. The place is lovely. If you're an outdoorsman, if you're into camping, it's ideal. It's amazing. I just couldn't handle it anymore.
Cody Lucente now works for an employer from Ontario, and Brittany Elliott is also considering moving out of Labrador. The health minister has steered interview requests to Labrador Grenfell Health, which has not provided anyone forward for an interview. Rafsan Farouk Jugo, CBC News, Happy Valley-Goose Bay.